Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our Entrepre-noir Series. Yes, we have another special guest today. We are awaiting our special guest. Thank you again for coming back and supporting us. Thank you. As you know, our Entrepre-noir Series, we discuss with entrepreneurs, big, small, just starting off, and they let us know the ups, the downs, the in-betweens of their small businesses. So stay tuned. Hope everybody's having a good day in spite of. The year is almost at a close, beautiful people. I think we should just forget about the resolutions and just do what you can. Let me tell you, it is what it is. Make the best of what you have and keep it moving, beautiful people. Keep it moving. If I don't get a chance to wish everyone a happy new year to all my viewers, my supporters, my friends, my families. Yes, I want to wish everyone a prosperous 2021. I pray for light, love, gratitude, blessings to one and all. Yes. Blessings, beautiful people. Be sure to tune in and make your comments, suggestions, feedback. Yes, here is our guest. Greetings, Mr. Ged Alexander. Welcome to Entrepreneur Series. How are you today, sir?
I'm good, thank you. That's a nice welcome.
Ah, and if I don't get to tell you before, Happy New Year. The year is coming to a close. So thank you again for coming on board and aligning yourself with our series. Today we're going to have a very in-depth and revealing interview. So tell us about yourself, introduce yourself to the masses, let people know who you are, where you come from, and a little backstory.
Well, yeah, there's not a lot to me. I'm Ged Alexander. I'm from St. Lucia, the beautiful island of St. Lucia. I was
Whoop, 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 whoop,
born
whoop.
in Castries many years ago, and I moved to the UK about, I believe it was around 2004, to join the British Army, and I've been a part of the British Army since. It's been 14 years that I've been a part of the service. I now practice occupational, well, specialist welfare and deliver that to soldiers around the world. And yeah, and in between that, I also run a startup called Shela Pitch and Shela Recruitment, where it's an online platform that allows startups or founders to reach investors around the world. And that's it.
Awesome. So Jared, you said you just started a startup business. Is that what you said?
Yeah, so it's called a startup because of the phase that it's in, and so we are in a phase where we are looking to grow and expand our business, and that takes a bit of capital, and most companies within that period, early stage, we call it early stage startup. These companies look for funding from investors to accelerate their growth, and then look for further rounds of funding to grow their businesses.
All right, because most people may not understand the terms that you're using when you say startup. So we have to go to ground level and speak, another language to the masses. Let them know exactly what you mean, the terms, because some of the business terms not everybody's familiar. So having said that, can you tell us what was your inspiration in doing the startup? Because you said you have a full time job. So what drove you to start this new business?
I guess I've always been entrepreneurial because I come from an entrepreneurial family. My mom has always been a kind of breadwinner and started her own business. So my entire life, I saw someone who was driven to run a business and to kind of provide a service to people. And the whole service, providing a service to others, I guess it's woven into my DNA and my fabric. So it was a natural progression for me to want to be an entrepreneur. I've always tried businesses. I've failed many times.
Try it
Uh,
again, Jed. Let them hear it. Tried and failed. Tried
Yeah,
and failed
many times.
many times.
And I guess in failure you learn your best lessons because you learn what not to do, and
Correct.
these are valuable lessons that you cannot really learn in books. You need to kind of be feet on the ground and really working through it. So as far as my inspiration, I believe it would be my mother, and also I challenge myself to compete against myself. So every year I want to be better at being Jed. So I guess next year I have some more challenges to overcome.
Oh, Mr. Alexander, powerful, powerful. I like the part when you say you're inspired by your mother. And I also very much like the part when you said tried and failed, because a lot of people don't believe that people that are successful today failed. They don't believe that people fail several times and they just keep going, you know? So, having said that, what your inspiration was, I want you to tell us what has been your challenges, you know, in getting this business on the ground, sourcing, funding, customers, clients, networking. Give us a little detail of what you went through to get off the ground.
I think every entrepreneur's story is very, very similar, although there may be different, in a different place, geography, timing. But as far as the common denominator as hurdles, you find these hurdles because when you want to start a business or product or service, you need to establish, is there a need for it, and when you do find the need for that service or product, it's about tailoring it to that audience or finding a customer base. And then so it's a challenge. Just it will always be a challenge unless you're lucky enough to formulate an idea or get a product or service that people are rushing to buy or to get because there's this huge demand for it. Then you actually you will face hurdles. So for me, some of the hurdles are I guess being new to the industry, understanding the terminologies that people use. More seasoned businessmen or businesswomen talking a certain lingo. They're moving in different circles. They understand certain ways of business and terminologies. When you start a business, and you, especially if you're new to business, you need to. It's a steep learning curve where you are trying to understand how to speak, how to approach, gaining the confidence to tell yourself you deserve to be here or you're able to do it. And so there are some psychological barriers that you will go through as an entrepreneur, especially if you're entering into a new field. And also if you in a different country. I'm from St. Lucia, so I'm coming into a European market and I'm trying to establish myself as an entrepreneur. So there are psychological barriers. If you haven't, if you do not have a degree or a master's, and you enter in a field of business, that could be a psychological barrier to you. And also there are barriers, as you said, like finances. If you know, starting a business takes a lot of money, or let's say starting a business can take a lot of money,
And
because there are ways that you could start
your
in
investors, you know, sell
yeah
yourself.
in this new environment. There's lean startups where you're able to start a business very in an agile way rather than
Right.
build a complete business. Do it step by step, get one success and then build upon that success and then move on to the next stage. So you know there are things you could do to
Around
avoid
exactly.
middle. But I always say in people pay for what they do not know. So oftentimes we pay large sums of money because we do not know certain things, and it's when you finally realize that you and everyone will come to that realization that you've been paying money for things that simply because you didn't know it existed or there were cheaper solutions existed.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So you could spend a lot of money and waste a lot of money and time because you did not know, and that's why it's very important when you are starting a business and entering into that field, you need to surround yourself with people in the know. Try to open your networks and get people with a bit more experience than you, a bit more understanding of the industry to feed some information back to you, so you could avoid making the simple errors that a lot of entrepreneurs make. So I think I might have strayed from that answer a bit, but
That's fine. That's fine. It all relates. It all
yeah.
relates. Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
yeah. it's all related. I don't think you strayed too much, Jed. I mean, all what you're saying ties in, you know, and the psychological part a lot of people are not aware of. I'm so happy you mentioned that. Yes, it's very important. So, having said that, Jed, you said about the background, you said about the inspiration, what inspired you to go into a business of your own, but you didn't tell us why you chose this particular field, this particular business, this particular, app thing, and finance. Like, why that as opposed to something else? What something
So
must have tugged you to this? You know what I mean?
I think I accidentally
Ah,
landed in the whole industry that I'm in. I think my mom always told me, why don't you create an app? Why don't you create an app? And I was like, create an app? How do you create an app? And I never knew how to create an app, or I never had the inkling to work in that space.
right.
But I was sat at work one day and I got this really strong kind of need or urge to kind of think about how we could create, how individuals who use technology today
That's what
sh-
I'm looking for.
should,
Yes,
should be able to help themselves with the technology or with the devices that they use. So your phone that you use every single day. And instead of using it and spending countless of hours watching other people's information or watching other people's content, many more people should be able to put out content themselves and get paid for their content. So my original idea was to create a business model where individuals from the Caribbean who wanted to kind of find a job for themselves,
right, right,
to advertise services to people traveling to the Caribbean. For example, if a tourist was coming over to St. Lucia, instead of staying at a 4 and 5 star hotel that tourists normally do, most
right,
tourists want a more authentic kind of experience. They
right.
want to see the island. They want to eat breadfruit and saltfish. They want to go to the river. They want to do a river run. They want these things that the locals do and enjoy. And
Exactly,
so the
exactly.
original idea was to get these individuals back home to to put a video up and to advertise their personal services and say, well, if you come to St. Lucia, I'll pick you up and I'll bring you to the river and stuff like that. But anyway, long story short, I got an investor when I made the idea, and he felt that recruitment was a better field to go into, and so I created what I call Sheila Recruitment Self-Help Employment Link Application. And we did a recruitment app that allows you to add a video to your CV, and that's what Sheila Recruitment is. But on my journey to making Sheila, I found how difficult it was to find investors, and I traveled a lot, and I spent a lot of money, looking for investors. And what I soon learned was investors are looking for opportunity, and if the opportunity is good, an investor will take it up. And for a lot of entrepreneurs starting up, a lot of people from my background don't even understand the world of investment, where you could go and pitch an idea to someone and they will give you £100,000 or £500,000 if your idea is good enough. But on my journey to seeking investment, I saw difficulties with that space, where individuals, especially entrepreneurs without Ivy League background, find it very difficult to reach investors in particular circles. So I created Shela Pitch, an online platform where, excuse me, an online platform where founders, young entrepreneurs, old entrepreneurs, people with innovative ideas could put a 90-second pitch up on that space and attract investors around the world. And so I started working on Sheila Pitch, and we built a platform earlier this year, and COVID hit, but thank God this business is online, it's remote, and individuals are able to sign up and pitch their ideas to investors. The biggest difficulty I found was quality.
Wait. I have a question about COVID. You're going ahead of me. You're going ahead of me. I
I'm
think,
sorry.
yes, I want to interrupt that part there because
Let's
my next question is the challenges you mentioned that you're having right now. How is it different since COVID? Was that what you were getting at?
uh, in a sense. So with regards to the challenges and COVID and what I am of the firm belief that the world is going to become more integrated with the digital space.
Right.
So Internet of Things, there will be internet in your everyday appliances.
Yes,
There
yes,
will be
yes, yes.
internet in your cars. And so before COVID hit, I was of that opinion that, and that's why I built Shelapitch. Instead of traveling 100 miles to go to an event where you could try to get the attention of an investor, I put this online. So individuals, no matter where you are in the world, you could sit in your home in St. Lucia and pitch to an investor in America. Or you could sit, at home in Miami and you could
Right.
pitch to an investor from Australia. So COVID kind of proved the concept. COVID instead of being a deterrent, it kind of helped solidify and prove the concept that I have, that things are moving online. We are moving to a
Wow.
more remote world. And so it,
Wow.
it really kind of helped me kind of say, okay, I told you so, that we're not allowed to congregate in large bunches and go to seminars where we could meet investors now. So why not let's get to that mindset that we could do more things online, and let's do things remotely. Let's not limit ourselves to our cubicle or our office space, but let's think globally. You could be from a small island and still think globally and still have customers in a global market, rather than thinking, okay, I need to build something for my small subset of customers.
Yes, yes, such telling and inspiring information, Jed. The part you said about when COVID hit, it kind of like made it a little better for your situation, right?
Yeah.
And this is what I want to bring out in this series. The purpose is to speak to entrepreneurs, find out what their ups and downs, their lows, their in betweens are, as well as during COVID. So for me, as you know, I'm going to give the viewers a backstory of how we know each other. But for me, as you know, I just started a business in COVID, right? So the business is a life coaching business. It's called Dig Deep Self Discovery Coaching. So, as a business person to a new business person, what is your advice you can give me for somebody and the others who are thinking of starting a business in this time?
I think times like this really uh, are times of innovation, because when your back is against the wall, when things are changing and things blockades are put on,
Right, right.
the old saying, when one door closes, another door is open.
Correct, correct.
These it's also in after destruction there is always a rebuilding. So these times, especially within COVID, these are inspirational and innovative times where I expect more businesses to start up. And as far as an entrepreneur or someone wanting to go into entrepreneurship now, I would encourage it, because what I always say, an entrepreneur is, the word sounds massive. It sounds like a big word, but it's just a normal human being. I'm just a normal human being with ideas. I'm just a normal person, just like everybody else. And I think, okay, I have an idea, and there is something I want to provide a service to people. And if you could just be focused on providing a service, providing something people need, serving people, people will pay you for something they need. If I'm out on the sea, and I'm trying to catch fish and I don't have a net, or fishing line, then that's a useless day out. But if somebody passed by on another boat and said, "I have a net for sale," I'm snapping that off that person's hand, because I
That's
because
what you need at this
I
time.
need
Yes,
that.
yes.
So if you start thinking about business in that sense, that okay, what service could I what is a service that I could provide to people that they need? And if you could find that, then you've fallen into entrepreneurship, because you could provide a service, and people will swap cash for that service, and then you have something that you could build upon. And if the demand increases, then your cash flow increases, and so forth and so on. So instead of if you're starting a business now, you want to start a business, instead of thinking about the Ferrari and the cars and the clothes that you're going to buy, think about the people that you want to serve. Think about the problems that you want to solve. And if you could nail that down, then everything else will happen.
Yes, 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 people. Let me tell you, this gentleman, Mr. Ged Alexander, I will give you now a backstory. That's the part now. Here comes the part where how did we, our paths cross? Where do I know this person? Just like what he just said, he has been a friend of mine for how many years now?
Well, let's subtract 17 from your age.
A long time. And
Yeah.
he has always been such an inspiration and practical. I always tell him, like, I look to him for advice and guidance in anything, whatever I'm doing. And especially now that I started the business, he has been very inspirational to me and, ground like at the bottom, like, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do. So this is a root friend. So I look to him for guidance as a friend, also as a professional. You understand? He has walked me through quite a bit of things. And yeah, so that's basically how I know him. And in my adult years, and now, from school and now in my adult years, he's still been such an inspiration. And he's just straight shooter. This is what it is. And yes, Jed, I want to thank you. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for, as a friend, guided me and being so open and listen to my crazy ideas, Jed, and kind of like seeping through it and say, well, this is not making too much sense, but yeah, that can work. Yes, I really appreciate you. Thank you, friend. Thank you, friend.
The thing
And so
about
now, Jed, I want you to let the people know how they can. No, first of all, you didn't mention who is your market. Yes,
yeah,
that's important. Who is your market? Who is your business geared towards? What you
yeah.
usually tell me? Who is your niche, Tracy? Tracy,
What's,
who's
what's
your
the name?
niche?
Yeah, yeah. So we deal with we present investor ready startups and their founders to investors who are more impact driven. So investors who really want to spend their money on projects that make a difference in the world, whether that be with green technology or with something to do that changes the lives of individuals. But we present these founders. So if you are a founder wherever you are in the world and you have an idea that can go global, that has high growth potential, that it will improve the lives of citizens or people. It's a technology-based business, or it could be a brick and mortar business, but something that has global potential to change lives. You're solving a real world problem. Then I'd love to kind of feature your startup on our platform. And what we do, we normally work with companies that work with startups. So if what we found out is every founder most founders believe in themselves. It's one of the prerequisites for being a founder. If
Right.
you want to start a business and you don't believe in yourself, then you might as well stop now. You need to have some strong self-belief, and that's a positive thing, but that could also be a negative. That strong self-belief, sometimes you fail to see where you need improvement, and if you're someone who cannot take advice or criticism, then that's a very bad recipe. But so we work with companies that really work with individuals and startups and really help them focus on tailoring their message, understanding their business model, really proving their concept. And once they get to that stage where they're ready, we allow them to pitch on the platform without cost. We put their pitches on the platform and allow investors to have a look at them. And if the investors like what they see, the investors could really connect with you, get meetings with you, and then fund your project if you have a project that really inspires.
Right, right. Well, we have come to close to our end of our interview, Jed. Like I said, I want to thank you again for taking some time to come and chat with us about your business and what you're up to and how your ups and downs have affected your business and how in the COVID pandemic that it's a real fact, it's a truth that people have testimonies that you can actually thrive through a pandemic. So I want you to point out to the people, your social media handles, for those that want to try to get in touch with you after listening to what you said, for those that have some interest, some questions, or some business, how can they reach you? So just let them know your social media handles and how they can reach you.
Yeah, if you could reach me on LinkedIn. I'm quite visible on LinkedIn. Ged Alexander, GED. Most people spell my name with a J because I think it's a natural sounding. But you could reach me on LinkedIn, and our business Shelapitch is also on LinkedIn. But at Shelapitch on Instagram and also on Facebook, Shelapitch. So anyone who wants to reach out, please feel free to kind of just drop me a message on LinkedIn, and I'll be able to kind of get back in touch with you. And I want to say that as I said, this is a really good time. And if your business suffered through COVID-19 because probably you were not online and you had a business that depended on customers walking in, it's now a time to think about the pivoting your business. When I say pivot, it's a basketball term, I guess, where you leave one foot on the firmly on the ground, but you could take your other leg and just change direction. So
Yes, yes.
it's a good time to kind of change direction slightly and move your business to an online form or fashion. Think about how you could reach more customers. Remember, if you're on a street corner, there are only a limited amount of people will pass there every single day. But if you're online, hundreds of thousands of people traffic through this online highway. So find yourself some way to get digital, to get remote, to get your business online, and try and think, because we have a very powerful thing between our ears, and that's what creates everything in this world.
Boy, you're so full of wisdom. You just don't even know it. The
I-
way that you put your words together, like, yes, Jed. Powerful stuff. So, thank you, viewers, for tuning in, and I want you to continue to support us. Also, for those needing life coaching services, you can reach me at www.digdeepcoachtc.com. And for the information Jed gave you about his social media handles, I'll also link it in the description. So if you didn't have time to get it or you didn't hear it correctly, you can still get it. And do you have any closing words, Jed, for the people, for the entrepreneurs, those that are starting, those that are having a little challenge, those that are just lost a little bit? Any closing words?
well, first of all, thank you for taking the time out to do this. This is a really good series. I wish that more people would get in touch with you and kind of talk, because it's in these conversations that people learn stuff. I'm learning stuff as just talking to other people. So I'd encourage more entrepreneurs and more business owners, more people who are aspiring to do business, to reach out and join this series, and just because it's content for other people. And for those those people, I always say young, and I'm no longer in the young bracket. I class myself as middle-aged now. But for those people who are struggling, believe in yourself. Remember that anyone could become successful. Failure is not the end. Failure is a lesson learned, and these are really good lessons to learn when you fail, because you're doing it. We call it you have a degree in life, because you've actually done the work. So keep pushing on, keep thinking, keep reiterating, keep pivoting until you find that way. Think about service first. Think about what you're offering. Make value, give value to someone else, and they'll pay you for that value, and just keep going on. But thank you very much.
Yes, 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 yes. Good stuff, Jed. Thank you so much for your guidance, your feedback, and your knowledge. Knowledge is power, and you're such a wise individual. Like I said, continue pushing forward and continue helping others, because some people just need a word. Sometimes, Jed, you know how it goes. You just need a word. Sometimes you have the ideas, but then when you bounce it off on somebody else, everything just blooms. Yeah. And so my closing words is, during this, my purpose, like I said, of this Entrepre-noir series is during conversation, so others can listen to others' experiences, so people can know this is not like a shelf life kind of situation. Going into your own business, trying to do something on your own, it's not a shelf life kind of business. You have to really work hard at it. And when the stumbling blocks come, do not give up, people. Do not give up. Stay inspired. Remember your circle. Your circle affects you. Your environment affects you. So the people you have around you, be mindful of these things. And like Jed said, hopefully I can get more people on these series and put more knowledge out there, more power and strength, unity. We can help each other out. Yeah. So this is it, Jed. Thanks again for taking time out to join our Entrepre-noir series. It's been so inspirational. As usual, your knowledge, yes. I look forward to talking to you about so many different things. And every time I do have a conversation with you, it's just like a breath of fresh air. So continue being my good buddy and continue being this professional with all those crazy ideas. Yes?
Thank you.
Blessings, peace and blessings. So we shall chat again. Enjoy the rest.
Enjoy.
Later.
All the best. Bye.